kind of go in regions. I think that's the easiest to do it. So first we'll start with like the main superficial muscles. Okay? Am I being videotaped right now? That's amazing. Alright. Let me get there. Okay. Here we have, so the top muscle, like that's going right over the front of the thigh, is the sartorius. Okay, it's the longest muscle and it's cut. So you can see it starts up here in the thigh and it just goes all the way down pretty much to the knee. So it starts on the side and comes around the front. You got that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's this one. It starts up here and goes around. Sartorius. Okay? Then we have, just below that, we have this big one that's cut. And that's the gracilis. So that's kind of like the inner leg. See that? This one. This big one. Okay. So we have the sartorius, the gracilis in the front. In the back, we have another superficial muscle. It's this giant one. It's really thick. Anyone want to guess what that is? It's your biceps femoris. Okay, so it's kind of like the biceps brachii you have in your arm. But when you flex what you see, it's the same thing here. It's a really big bulge in the lower leg. Those are your superficial muscles. Okay, so now we'll start going in a little deeper. So, sartorius and the gracilis, we move away. Up here we have our quads. Okay, so your thigh, the front of your thigh, anterior side, are your quads. So they get a little smaller, so I'll move it around. Back. Like this. Okay. So, on the outside, we have our vastus lateralis, so it's more lateral. Okay? So the vastus lateralis is more lateral. On the inside is the vastus medialis. Okay? So vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and right in the center is the rectus femoris. So the vastus lateralis and medialis sandwich the rectus femoris. Okay. Those are the three. Those are the quads. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Everyone got that? Okay. So. Okay. I'm gonna skip a little bit out of order and just go towards the outside. So we said this was our sartorius muscle. Okay. Now we move the sartorius out of the way. On the more lateral to it or towards the outside of the body, we have this white connective tissue. Anybody want to take a guess what this is?
IT band.
Pardon me?
IT band.
Yeah, it's the iliotibial band, also the tensor fascial latae. So it's in your book. It's labeled as the iliotibial band. You can put it as that or the tensor fascial latae, because I think in the diagrams it's called the tensor fascial latae or the TFL, whichever it is.
And which one is that again?
It's this one, where you see all this white connective tissue connected to this muscle. This white connective tissue is just representative of the iliotibial band. What's up?
It's alright, I'll ask you.
Okay, what's up?
I'll ask you.
Okay. Okay. So we move a little bit more lateral. We saw we had, what's this muscle called? Biceps femoris, exactly. Okay. So on the bottom of the leg, we have our hamstrings. Okay. So we have our biceps femoris here. Just inferior to that, we have this thick muscle that's cut and it connects here. Okay. Connects underneath there. You guys see that? This one? This cat's being mutilated. That's the semimembranosus. Okay, so the semimembranosus is cut. Okay. Okay. And if you reflect the semimembranosus now, the one that's cut, you get to this giant one right underneath. cut, and this is not. Just go alphabetical. The earlier ones cut. Oh. Okay. So just to review these quickly, what's this muscle? What's the cut one? Which one? And what's this big one? Okay. What's this? Can't hear you guys. Okay.
Hold on, could I put IT band or do I have to actually?
No, I have to write the other side of it. Sorry, you can spell it wrong, but you have to write the other side of it. Okay, what's this muscle? One going from the outside down to the frontal leg. Sartorius. The quads, what's the one on the outside? The one all the way on the inside? And the one that they sandwich? Good. Okay. What's this big muscle? It's the lower leg. Gracilis. Okay, so now we have a few more muscles to look at. When you reflect back the gracilis and the sartorius, you guys want to take a little peek. You can see that you have all these nerves and blood supplies. You can see it just by the red. Okay? So over here, you guys all see that? Okay, so you find your nerves and you look for that little muscle that sticks out. That's the adductor longus. Okay, so the longest is the one on top. And right below that, this bigger one, is the adductor femoris. So adductor long, you find your nerves, you find the adductor longus, then the adductor femoris. Okay, find the nerves.